Okay, students, we are back after the break. Hope you had your break and let us start the the session. As I informed earlier, the first session we are starting at 10:45, that is now, and Miss Tarushika would be the module lecturer for this starting session. I already brief about her experience, where she is working, and what sort of professional and education qualification that we have. So Tarushika, over to you. You can start the session. Students, all the best for your new program. Tarushika, you can share the screen and start the session.
Thank you, Dr. Tepur. Okay, students, good morning once again. Welcome to the Certified Professional in Software Quality Engineering course. So just give me a confirmation. Is my screen visible to you all?
Yeah, we can see the PowerPoint slideshow. You can put it to the presentation mode.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Tepur. I hope this is visible to you. Uh, so
Yeah, it's
as you all
visible.
aware, right, thank you so much, Dr. Tepur. As you all aware, I'm the person who is going to conduct the module one, which is quality engineering basic concepts. So when it comes to this particular course, if I summarize you, we do have mainly four modules. So the first one is the quality engineering basic concepts. And next you are going to learn about the automation section, and after that you are going to learn about the API testing, as well as after the next one, the final module will be the performance testing. So this is our module one, which is quality engineering basic concepts. So let's see what's inside this module one. So with the module one, you are going to learn about introduction to quality engineering, and then testing life cycle. After that, we are going to learn about test types. Then we will discuss about the test designing. Then we will move on to the test execution. Finally, this module will be concluded with the test reporting and closure. So these are things which you are going to learn with the module one. So after this particular module, you will move on to the automation module. So with the today's session, which is Introduction to Quality Engineering, session one, what you are going to learn about is what is software quality engineering, goal of QE, and impact of QE with real world example. So in there, we are going to learn about why QE is really important. Without QE, what is going to be happen with QE, how it's going to be successful. Likewise, we are going to learn about the impact of quality engineering with real world example. And then we will discuss about quality engineering principles. So in there, we are going to learn about 7 different types of quality engineering principles. And these principles actually, if you are going to do ISTQB syllabus, I mean the ISTQB exam, then in that particular syllabus, you will find it out that quality engineering principles, which we are going to cover in here. And then after that, we will discuss about the role of QE in agile development environment. So before we are just discuss about the agile development, we will discuss about what are the available software development types which are currently in industry. And then we will discuss about how QE is going to fit into this agile environment. And then we will discuss about the career progression in software quality engineering. In that, we will just talk about the career ladder of a particular QE, and then how you becoming a quality engineer, what are the things that you have to do. And when it comes to the quality engineering field, the important certification that you can get is the ISTQB certifications. So we will discuss about what are the available certifications and how you can just get registered for those certifications, like those things. And then finally, we will discuss about how you can crack your interview, and how from this particular course, we are helping you to just face for an interview and get the job, right? Okay. So are we good to move forward? So you can always turn on your mic and then just respond to me. Shall we move forward?
Yes, miss.
Okay, right. So first of all, uh, before we are just discussing about these things which I have listed down in this particular slide, I just wanted to know what you all know about quality engineering. Any idea about this field? මොනවද දන්නේ quality engineering කියලා? අපි මේ ඩිස්කස් කරමු මේ ස්ලයිඩ් එකේ තියෙන ටික ඔක්කොම අපි ඩිස්කස් කරනවාද? මම කියන්නේ ඊට කලින් නිකන් කියන්න බලන්න මොකද්ද quality engineering කියලා ඔයාලා දන්නේ මොනවද?
It's
Just
like
say what
the
you know. Thank you.
backbone. It's like the backbone of the software engineering industry in
Okay.
a way.
Right. What else? What we are doing as a part of quality engineering?
Analyzing and testing code.
Okay. Right. Is that all? Okay, good. Good answer, right? So, as may I know your name, please? Because I cannot see the participants since I'm in the presentation mode.
Abhishek, miss.
Okay, right. Abhishek, thank you so much for your answer. So, as Abhishek mentioned, even I'm also joining to this particular industry. I also thought that quality engineering is testing, right? We are just testing the software, so that's what our job which we have to do. That's what even I also having in my mind before I joined to the industry. But after I have joined to the industry, I have realized that quality engineering is not just testing, right? So the software quality engineering, if we get the definition in here, let me write. Is my cursor visible to you? Right. I hope
Uh,
the
yeah,
red
miss.
small circle is visible to you. Right. Okay. Thank you. So, as I have mentioned before, software quality engineering, it is not like just testing as we are having in mind, right? Software quality engineering, that is a systematic process that ensures software products meet specified requirements and standards, right? What we are doing is, of course, we are testing the software, but we are just checking whether the user or the client needs are with the particular development or not. So that cannot be just doing by testing, right? So it's not just testing, but encompasses the entire software development life cycle. That means the SDLC to prevent defects and improve development process. So when we are just checking whether the particular software is meeting the client requirements or not, that can be achieved by testing. But it's when we are doing the testing, it's not just testing. That means we have to involve in the entire software development life cycle. That means starting from the requirement phase, we have to go through with the requirements, and then we just try to just check the whether the requirements are clearly written and whether the whatever the user needs are fulfilled in the given requirements or not. And then we have to just check the design. Likewise, we have to go through with this each and every phase of the software development life cycle. We are not doing the testing once the particular software has been developed. That means that at the end of the software, we are not going to just test, but we are involving at the beginning. So that's why in here it's saying it's not just testing. So while testing is a part of QE, QE includes board activities such as process improvement, requirement analysis, and ensure that the development process follows the best practices, right? So you have to always keep it in mind. Quality engineering, software quality engineering, it's not just testing. Software quality engineering means testing plus process improvement, requirement analysis, and also ensure that the development process follows the best practices, right? So, what are the goals of a QE? That means why we are doing QA? Any idea? Why we are doing
To ensure that the product is good enough for the customer to use.
Yes, good, right? So as you have mentioned, goal of Q is we can take it as the Abhilash mentioned that enhance customer satisfaction. That is one thing, right? That's what by doing QE, what we are just expecting, enhance the customer satisfaction. Not only that, we just wanted to prevent the defects, right? With the if whatever the things that the user want to do from the software, if it is not happening, then customer is not gonna satisfy. Why is it not happening? Because it's not working as intended. That means it do have defects. So prevent defects, that is one of the goals of QAs. So how we can prevent the defects is like we need to do the testing, but we need to identify those defects from the testing uh, in the earlier phases, right? Not at the end. We have to do the testing at the beginning of the software development lifecycle. We will learn how to do that. So the early identification and prevention of defects in the software development lifecycle, that is one of the goals of QE. And then the next one is the ensure compliance. That means make sure that the software adheres to the industry standards, regulatory requirements, and internal guidelines. Let's say that you are developing some software which is taking credit card details. So when the particular software is taking the credit card data, there are some rules that we need to follow. As an example, when we are entering a credit card number to a particular field, then it should only display the last four digits of the credit card number. And when it comes to the credit card payments, when we are doing online, we have to enter the CSV number. That means the number which is at the back of the credit card, which is having like three digits, maybe like four digits. So that particular number we cannot save in the database. Likewise, there are some rules, regulations which we need to follow. So one of the goals of QE is to just check whether that development follows the rules and regulations that needs to follow, right? And as we have already discussed, enhance customer satisfaction. That is one of the main goals of QA. Deliver a high quality product that meets customer expectations and works reliably under all expected conditions, right? Whatever the requirements that the customer needs, we need to just give it with our product. So for that, whether is it working properly or not, to test that, we are doing quality engineering. So that is one of the goals. And then the final one is the optimize processes. So with the optimized processes means that now, as an example, when we are testing, first we are just identifying how we are going to test this particular software, and then we are just writing the steps. And manually we are doing the steps, right? We are just clicking the buttons and then entering the data to forms. Likewise, we are just manually doing those. So it will take time. So then as a quality engineer, we need to find it out how we can just save our time, how we can do these activities which we have to do as a quality engineer as soon as possible. That means as faster, quickly. So that's how the automation comes into the picture, right? And then when we are doing automation, how we can just optimize, that means how we can just write our code properly. Likewise, there are some process improvements that you have to do. That is also one of the goals of QA. So the continuously improve development process to make more efficient and effective. So that is another objective or goal of a QA, right? Okay, so any doubts so far? Are we good to continue?
Pretty clear, Miss.
Right. If you do have any doubts, please ask. මොන හරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න. ලයෝද්, හසිත, අනුරාධ, හසිනි. Okay, so if you don't have any doubts, we'll move on. I hope my screen is still visible to you all. Okay. So now we will discuss about impact of quality engineering with real world example. So when it comes to the let's say that you want to search something in internet, what you are normally using? Hasini, if you want to search something in the internet, what you are normally using? Ah, now you have seen what I wanted to ask from you, the answer, right? So if you are using internet to search something, of course, nowadays you are using ChatGPT, but we have used Google search engine, right? So why we are always using Google search engine? Because it's giving us the accurate results. So this is perfectly working before because they have used the strong QA practices, right? Now, that is because they are using the QA practices, that's why the Google search engine is that much success, right? So when it comes to consequences of poor QA practices, I can just give a good example. That is the Therac 25 radiation therapy machine. This is the machine that is developed in 1980s to treat the cancer patients, right? So in this machine, the software that is used to control the radiation dose that is actually had a bug. So due to that, due to this buggy software, there were like 6 people dead uh, because the particular software that is controlling the radiation, the dose of the radiation that is not tested properly, right? So that is, you can see now the importance of quality engineering to get the success in the business world, and also if it is not following properly, then in the business world, the particular company get ruined as well. So this is quality engineering is very much important, like the same as the development as well, right? Software engineering as well, the quality engineering also very much needed. And this is the best example which I can give it to you all. Okay, so now we will discuss about quality engineering principles. So when it comes to these quality engineering principles, I have taken these from, as I have mentioned before, from the ISTQB syllabus, right? As per the ISTQB syllabus, there are 7 quality engineering principles. So first one is testing shows presence of defects, not their absence, right? That means when we are doing testing, it will show if there's a defect. But if it is not showing a defect, we cannot say that this particular software is not having any kind of defects, right? So that's the definition or the explanation of this particular principle. So that's why when we are doing testing, we have some different types of techniques which we need to follow, where we are going to learn from the upcoming lessons, right? We cannot just do few testings and then just say that, okay, this software is good, this is ready to use. No, we can't say like that. We have to do proper testing, right? So then when it comes to doing testing, the next principle is exhaustive testing is impossible, right? That means that now, as an example, let's take a particular input field where it's taking age, right? So we know that normally we are living like around, let's say, 80. So we cannot just test that particular software by entering numbers from 0 to 80, or maybe like even we can just enter minus values as well to check the behavior, right? So we cannot do the testing by entering all the possible values, right? So that's what known as exhaustive testing. That is not possible. So that's why, as I have mentioned before, we do have different types of software testing techniques we need to follow, and we need to identify, okay, if I need to verify this age field, what are the possible values which I can use in order to use it with my testing. I cannot use all the possible numbers, but I need to do the testing as well. So then I need to pick some values, right? Then ඊළඟ principle එක ගැන කතා කරොත් exhaustive testing is impossible. එකෙන් අදහස් කරන්නේ අපි ටෙස්ට් කරනකොට මොකක් හරි දෙයක් අපිට ඒක ටෙස්ට් කරන්න පුළුවන් තියෙන combinations තියෙනවානේ. ඒතකොට ඒ හැම එකක්ම කරන්න කියන එක අපිට කරන්න බෑ. Why we cannot do each and every combination when we are doing testing? Why? What's the reason? Why I'm saying that exhaustive testing is impossible? ඇයි මං කියන්නේ මෙහෙම exhaustive testing කරන්න බෑ. එහම හැම combination එකක්ම හොයන්න බෑ කියලා කියන්නේ ඇයි මං එහෙම කියන්නේ? අපිට එහෙම හැම එකම ටෙස්ට් කරන්න බෑ කියලා කියන්නේ ඇයි? Any reasons?
Because sometimes there are thousands of combinations, like in actual scenarios.
Okay, good. What else? What about time? Do you all have enough time to check each and every combination? As an example, which I have taken, let's say that that particular input field is taking age from 18 to maybe like 50. So do you have time to enter each and every value and then check that input field? Now, let's say that particular form is having thousands of fields, name, address, country. So are you supposed to enter each and every value for the each and every input field and test? Can't, right? Because we don't have time, we don't have enough budget for that. So that's why exhaustive testing is impossible. So, but we need to do proper testing, right? So that's why we need to follow different types of test designing techniques, testing techniques, which you have to learn, right? Okay. And then the next principle is early testing save time and money. If you are do testing, right? If you are doing the testing early, then it will save our time as well as money, right? Now, that means when we are testing, if we are going to wait until the entire product is going to develop, and then after that, if you are going to do testing, if there's a defect, if there's a bug, then to correct it, it take time, it take money, right? But let's say that as an example, client, let's take very simple example, right? So in a particular form, client wants to get the age somewhere between 18 to 50, right? But once everything has been developed, once the particular e-commerce website is developed, but at the end of that, when we are doing the testing, we have seen that that particular field is taking age like minus values, right? Maybe like the after 50 values as well, right? Beyond the 50 as well. So then if we have just gone to the requirement analysis phase also, if we are doing, if we are going through with those requirement analysis also, then we have identified, okay, this is the client need, then we can just correct it. Another example, we can say that if a particular program is developing for a Sri Lankan people, so in that case, the currency that they have to use, let's say its client is given as rupees. So instead of that, when it comes to the development, if they have added it as dollars, so it is not correct, right? But if we are going to involve in the requirement analysis phase, then we know what should be happen, what to do. So that's why the early testing save money and as well as time. And then the next one, that is defect cluster together, right? So the defect cluster together means, let's say that in a particular component which we are testing do have defects, right? Because of that, we cannot say the other components, those are not having defects or those will have defects, right? We cannot comes to a particular assumption. Since a particular component do have defects, the other components may have defects or may not have defects. We cannot do that. And also we cannot skip testing. We have to do testing of the each and every component, but by using proper test designing techniques, right? Okay, so the next one is be aware of the pesticides paradox. So that means if we are doing testing and if we are using the same set of testing scenarios again and again and again, then we might not be get some new defects. We cannot identify new defects. As an example, if you are just testing, let's say a login, where you have to enter username and password, right? And then how you can do is you can just enter a valid username. You can enter invalid username. You can enter a valid credential. That means valid password. You can enter an invalid password. And you can just test like without entering username and password. Likewise, you can just try out some combinations. Let's say that you have identified those 4 combinations. Now, once you have executed that, if you are once again executing it to just check whether there are possible defects or not, it is not going to give you new defects. That's why when you are entering data, what you can do is for maybe for invalid username, you can just enter like numbers and check, right? You can change the character limit and then test. Likewise, you have to just try it in different ways. Doing the same thing again and again will not give you defects, right? So that's what be aware of the pesticides paradox. And then the next quality engineering principle is testing is context dependent. So the way that you are doing the testing for a commercial website, e-commerce website, that is not the way that you have to follow when you are testing a high security end software, right? So the way that you have to test is different. So that's why testing context is different. And then the final quality engineering principle is absence of errors in policy. So that means we cannot say that once we have done testing, right? Now all the defects we have identified and then those are fixed. We cannot say that this is a good software. Why? Even though we have done testing, even though we have fixed the bugs, can we say it's a good software? Can we? දැන් අන්තිම principle එක තමයි absence of error in fallacy, right? දැන් මම ඒකේ ඔයාලට explain කරනවා නම් මම දැන් software එක ඔක්කොම test කරලා ඉවරයි, තිබ්බ defects ටික ඔක්කොම fix කරා, හරි. මට කියන්න පුළුවන්ද මේක හොඳ software එකක් කියලා? Can we? Any ideas?
Not really.
Why?
Because there might be like other issues besides errors in the software.
Okay, other issues means how you are going to find it out?
Going through the steps of the SPLC.
Okay, right. So in here, the idea behind this is absence of error in fallacy. That means even though we have done proper testing, even though all the bugs which we have found, or the defects which we have found fixed, still this software maybe not going to be a good one if we are not giving the customer needs. So that's why it's saying absence of error is false, right? අපි defects ටික ඔක්කොම fix කරලා software එක හරි කියලා කියන්න අපිට බෑ. මොකද හේතුව අපි customer ට ඕන කරන දේ customer බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන එක දීලා නැත්තම්, එයාට ඕන කරන requirements ටික අපි fulfill කරලා දීලා නැත්තම් අපිට කියන්න බෑ මේක හොඳ software එකක් කියලා, right? So these are the 7 quality engineering principles. Okay. So are there any questions with this particular part? Shall we move forward?
Yes, miss.
Yes.
For the exhaustive testing, can you explain that like one more time?
Okay. Exhaustive testing means, Puta, we cannot test each and every combination, right? As an example, when it comes to like, let's say that we need to validate input field where it's taking age. So when it comes to age, there are different numbers which we can enter, right? Maybe like 5, 10, 50, 75, 30. Likewise, there are different age. So when we are doing testing, we have to just enter value 5 and then just check how the software is working. Maybe like we have to enter 50, how it should work. Likewise, we have to test. But when we are testing, we cannot enter each and every value, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to find it out. What are the possible values which we can enter? So let's take an example, right? Since you have asked, we will move a little bit forward. Anyways, I'm going to discuss this in maybe in next uh, session, right? So let's say there's an input field which is taking age from 18 to 50, right? So 18 to 50, we do have so many values. We cannot enter each and every value. That is, if we are entering each and every value when testing, so that's what it is saying. It's exhaustive, right? වදයක් වෙනවා මේ මෙතන 18 ඉඳන් 50 වෙනකම් එන්ටර් කරලා බලන්න. ඒ 18ට කලින් ඒවත් තියෙනවා 50ට පස්සේ ඒවත් තියෙනවා. එහෙම ඔක්කොම අපිට එන්ටර් කර බලන්න බෑ. ඒක තේරුමක් නෑ. එහෙම ටෙස්ට් කරන්නේ නෑ, right? ඒතකොට අපිට කරන්න පුළුවන් we need to identify what are the values which we are going to use to verify that particular input field, right? We can get some values, possible values. එතන මම values කීපයක් දාලා බලනවා. Maybe like I can just enter 30 or 5, right? Or 45, or maybe 60, right? Then can I say that it's working properly? In confidently, can we say it's working properly, right? මම මෙතනට දාලා බලනවා 18ට වැඩ කරනවාද 30ට වැඩ කරනවාද 75ට වැඩ කරනවාද කොහොමද වැඩ කරන්නේ කියලා ඒ values ටික විතරක් දාලා බලනවා. ඒතර අපිට confidently කියන්න පුළුවන්ද මේක හරි මේ ඕන විදිහට මේ field එක වැඩ කරනවා කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන්ද? It's kind of like a risk, right? So that's why we do have different types of designing techniques, such as boundary value analysis, equivalence partitioning, right? So in here, what we can do is to pick the values. I can just enter 18, right? Anyway, I have to just check how it's working for the minimum value, and also I can just check with 50. That is a one value. And also I can just take a value which is from one of the value from the middle of this range, right? Maybe like 30, how it's working. So that means we have taken the two edges as well as a value from the middle. So what about maybe like what should be happen if we are going to enter minus values, right? So likewise, we can get negative values as well. So negative values means the positive values should be 18 to 15, but 18 to 50, but what should be happen other than the values which are not within the particular range, how it should behave. So that's why we can just get a -1 as well as another value like which is not expecting from this particular input field. So likewise, we can just pick the values. We are not using each and every value to test. So that's what in here exhaustive testing is impossible. Is that clear for you?
Yeah, Miss, I think I got a better idea of it.
Right. So
Thank you
we
for the
will discuss.
explanation.
Thank you so much for the question as well as confirming that. So we will discuss these type of techniques in the upcoming sessions, right? Okay. So any more questions? Right. If you don't have any questions, we will move on to the next one. So now, since I have talked a lot, so we will do a small activity, right? So with this activity, what I'm planning to do is I'm going to divide you all into groups, right? Two groups. And then I'm going to give you two different types of software development methodologies, right? That means when you are developing a software, the things or the uh, the methods that you can follow, right? Those are known as the software development methodologies. So I'm going to give you two methodologies. One is waterfall, the other one is agile, right? What you have to do is you have to just prepare a small presentation or maybe a small poster as a group to cover these things, right? What is the methodology and how it does work, and what are the main phases, steps involved, and then what are its advantages as well as disadvantages, and what kind of projects is it most suitable for, right? So the two development methodologies which I'm going to give you is the waterfall and then agile. Is this task clear for you all?
Yes, miss.
Right. So let me divide you all into groups. Can you all take a small screenshot of this? Even I also can drop it to the chat. Right. Question is in the chat. And hope screen also visible to you. Right. So Layod, are you with us? Anuradha? Hasini?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Don't consider this one as a pain, right? Just go through with the internet, search in the internet. And okay, so let me give you, right, Anurad and Abhishek will be in the room number 1, and in room number 2, Hasini and Layod, right? So Anuradha and Abhishek find it out, this information for the waterfall software development methodology. Hasini and Layod, please find these details for agile methodology, right? So you can now go for the given rooms. Okay. Uh, we'll wait couple of seconds. Right. All back, right? හැමෝම ආව නේද?
Think so. Think so.
Okay, right. Right. So, what are the information that you all got? Would you like to present?
Anuradha, you want to do first?
Let's go with waterfall.
All right. So I'll talk about the first 2 points I researched about, and Anuradha researched about the other 2 points. So the first one is what is waterfall and how does it work? So waterfall is like it's a methodology of SDLC. So it uses the SDLC project management approach. And in waterfall, um, each of the phases sort of flows downward from each other. So it starts from the first phase and then ends in the very last phase. So it goes from start to finish, similarly to like a waterfall, how a waterfall goes from the top to bottom, pretty much. So there's like no stop; it just goes straight uh, from the start to finish.
Okay.
So how each phases and steps. So how it works for each phase is, so first there is the requirements gathering phase, where pretty much you sort of gather all the details about the project, like um, what the requirements for the project. You gather documents and you sort of understand what you have to do for it. Then afterwards, you have the design stage where we take those documents and then we start creating designs and architectures for the programs. Then in the third stage, that is implementation, where we actually develop the program and build it off of the designs that we made. Then after that, testing, where after we finished building the program, we test it for bugs, errors, and check if it's according to the customer's requirements, and also check for the quality of it. And then after that, we have the final stage, which is deployment slash maintenance. So after we release the final product, it's not the end. We have to ensure that the product is uh, properly updated and also fix any future problems that may occur after it has been released. And I will pass it to Anuradha to continue the rest of the points.
Thank you. I'll I'll go to research about advantages and disadvantages of the waterfall methodology. Firstly, I can found waterfall can is use simple and easy to understand, which uh, waterfall follows a linear and step-by-step approach, making easy to process and structured and disciplined. Uh, each phase has clear goals and deliverables. Um, uh, uh, but need to finish one phase before moving on to the next. Ensure the through planning and documentation, that disadvantages like inflexibility to changes, that once press is completed, going back to make changes is difficult. Uh, mm, uh, that next one is later detection of problems. Errors in initial requirements or design may be not found until the testing process, which can lead to serious issues, delays, likewise. Other thing is the waterfall methodology mostly suitable for um, more suitable with project with clearly defined requirements um, and short terms or simple project and uh, mm, mm,
Good.
and
You have covered the entire thing. Good work, Abhishek and Anuradha.
okay, thank you.
So, shall we move on
Thank you,
to the
Miss.
welcome? Shall we move on to the agile development? Hasini and Layod, what do you got?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm live there, and Hasni and me made a small presentation. Can we share that
Yeah, sure. Why
with?
not?
Yeah, sure. Appear in the message was disabled participant screen sharing.
Oh, right.
Okay, I will.
Let me make you as let's say that I should have that option, right? Making you as a host. Maybe like
Yeah,
Mr.
okay, no
Rasika,
worries. I
are
will
you
continue with without the presents. Yeah,
right? Because no, just wait. It's your hard work, right? Mr. Rasika,
yeah, yeah,
are
sure.
you available there? I think since I'm a co-host, I cannot do that. Okay, let's proceed without the slides. I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah, sure, no worries. So we are presenting about the agile methodology. Actually, as an introduction, agile is a flexible and iterative approach to software development. Uh, because traditional waterfall method is a linear approach. So this is flexible and iterative approach of the software development. And this methodology has iterative progress, collaboration, and adaptability to change instead of following a rigid sequential plan. And agile breaks work into the short cycle called sprints. Typically, sprint may be 1 to 4 weeks, and where teams deliver work in increments of a product. That's mean like in each and every sprint, we have improving the product iteratively. Yeah, then we will move to the second point. What are the main phases and steps of agile methodology? So first step is project initiation. In this initial step, we have to initiate the project with relevant stakeholders. So after that, we have sprint planning. In here, the team select the items from the product backlog and work on during the upcoming sprint and estimated the effort required for each and every task. And then third point is sprint execution. In this phase, this is the core development phase and where team members work on assigned task and daily stand-up meetings occur to and coordinate the work. And then sprint review phase, fourth phase. In here, after the each and every sprint, at the end of the each sprint, the team demonstrate the completed work to stakeholders and customers and getting the feedback on what was built and discussing what should be prioritized next. And Then fifth phase is sprint retrospective. There is another special uh, called as sprint retrospective, and the team reflects on their process and discussing what went well, what didn't work, and what improvement they can make in the next sprint. So this process, this sprint retrospective enables the continuous process improvement. So final phase is product backlog refinement. So throughout the project and the product backlog is continuously updating and the update and refine and reprioritize based on feedbacks and change in requirements and new insights. So those are the phases of agile methodology. Uh, Over to you, Hasini, to continue this presentation.
Thank you. Here. In agile methodology, we found several advantages like high flexibility. That means adapt to the change in requirements and customer focus situation. Also, early and frequent delivery of working software and encourages collaboration between cross-functional teams. Also, reduce risk by finding issues earlier. Under disadvantages, we found needs active user involvement and continuous communications, and difficult to estimate time cost at the beginning, and not ideal for terms unfamiliar with agile practices. Also, can lead to the scope cheap without strong product ownership. So, projects in Agile most suitable for. We found at first one, Agile projects, Agile methodology suitable for projects with evolving unclear requirement, also long-term and complex projects, and project requirement requiring frequent updates, also project that benefits for early testing, and project with active stakeholder involvement. So that's all about our presentation. Thank you.
Okay, good work. Well done, Layodhya and Hasini. All of you, nice work. Right. So let me share my screen. Right. Is my screen visible to you all?
Yes, Miss. It
Okay.
is.
Yes, visible.
Right. So this is kind of like a very brief summary. So when it comes to the software development methodologies, that means the different ways that you can follow in order to develop a software, right? In order to develop a software, sometimes you are doing all the activities one after another, right? Or else, in order to develop a software, what you are doing is you are not going to develop the entire software at once. You are just developing part by part, right? So likewise, there are different methods that you can follow to develop a software. That's what known as software development methodologies. So the most common two types of software development methodologies are waterfall and then agile. The information that you have found, right, those are accurate, well done. And what I wanted to give you is kind of like an insight. So when it comes to a waterfall, the approach is in waterfall, all the phases or all the things which we need to do, we are doing it one after another one. First, we are just doing the requirement gathering and analyzing that. After that, based on the requirements, we are just doing the designing. Then, based on the designing, the development of the software is happening. Once the development is done, then only it's going to start testing, right? And then the next deployment, then the maintenance. Likewise, the all the things are happening one after another one. The entire software is going to develop one after another activity like this, right? But when it comes to agile, no, we are not going to do like that. The particular software which we need to develop, we are going to divide it into small parts. And those parts we are going to just do it like we are taking one part and then we are just doing the requirement analysis, design, develop, test, deploy, review, and then we are just having that part at the end. And then once it is done, then we are taking another part to develop. Likewise, we are just dividing whatever the things which we need to develop as parts, right? So that's what agile, that's why it is iterative and incremental development. So that when it comes to testing, now we are talking about testing, right? So when it comes to testing with waterfall, that's happened after the development done. That means the entire software has been developed. Then only we are just starting the testing, right? That's why I have earlier said that when the testing involves at the end, it costs time and money because the entire thing is developed. But when it comes to the agile, since we are just developing part by part of the software, then if there's a kind of like some kind of an error, then we can fix it in the next phase, right? That means the next increment, we can just fix it. We are not waiting until the end of the development of the entire software. It's not like that. So that's why when it comes to testing, it's continuous with each sprint when it comes to agile. So as you all mentioned, when it comes to waterfall, it is good for short-term projects, fixed scope, well-defined projects, because the requirements are not going to change. We know what to develop and it's fixed. But if there's kind of like a changing requirement project, or as it is evolving the particular project, then we have to follow. It's not saying that, I'm not saying that we should not follow for the waterfall for evolving project, but it is good practice to use the agile for evolving project. Right now, let's just take a little bit depth into this particular two concepts. So let's say that we are going to develop a food order application, right? So then we do have our requirements in user stories, right? Like this. Don't think about this one. I'll explain the product backlog later on, right? See, we do have requirements. These are the things which we need to develop. So the first requirement is, as a user, I want to sign up and log in so that I can access my account. That is one requirement. And as a user, I want to search restaurants near me so I can place an order. That is another requirement. As a user, likewise, there are a lot of requirements which we need to satisfy to develop that particular product. In waterfall, what we are doing is we are just developing each and everything one by one. And then at the end, we are going to do the testing. But in agile, no, we are not going to do like that. What we are going to do is, in agile, what we are doing is we are going to gather all the requirements like this in user stories, and then we do have priority. That means what should just develop first, then what should be next, what is the now you can see this is a high priority one, this is also high priority one. Likewise, we now developing this one, that is option, the user story 8, that is low priority, right? So likewise, the priority, the how fast which we need to develop these things, based on that we are just giving the priority, how critical, like so based on those stuff we are giving the priority. So then we are just maintaining these user stories. That's what in agile, that's what known as product backlog, right? So after that, what we can do is, now, as I have mentioned before, we are not going to develop all the things at once. We are taking whatever the things which we can develop within a given time frame. So all the user stories, that's known as the product backlog. And then whatever the user stories which we are taking to develop for a particular time period is known as sprint backlog. Now in here, what we can do is we are taking the first one, and we are taking the second one, and we are taking the third one, right? So we are taking these 3 user stories to develop within maybe like first 2 weeks. So that is a sprint, right? So the each and every user story, that means each and every requirement, to satisfy that, there are some subtasks which we need to do, right? So these things we are going to develop. We are not going to take all the tasks which we need to do from the product backlog. No, what we are going to do is we are going to just pick whatever the task which we can do within the given time period, and then we are going to do it. Right. Is this clear for you all? Up to now, is it clear for you all?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so we'll just check what is our role. That means you also going to plan needs to become a QE, right? So let's check what is our role in agile development. When it comes to the agile development also, there are various types of agile development available, like Scrum, Kanban, likewise the extreme program. Likewise, there are some agile development methods. Anyways, those are using this, as I have mentioned before, the iterative incremental development, but the way that they are going to do is a little bit different, right? Agile කියලා ගත්තාම agile වලත් ගොඩක් දේවල් තියෙනවා. Scrum තියෙනවා, Kanban තියෙනවා, XP කියලා තියෙනවා. එතකොට ඒ වගේ වෙන්නේ මේ හැම එකක්ම එකවර ඩිවලොප් කරන්න නැතුව කොටස් ඩිවලොප් කරන එක තමයි. හැබැයි යාලේ කරන විදිය එක practices පොඩ්ඩක් වෙනස්. So in here, what I'm using is in order to describe how we are fit into the agile development by using Scrum, right? Agile වල Scrum කියන එකේදී අපි කොහොමද මේ agile development වලට QE කෙනෙක් fit වෙන්නේ කියන එක තමයි මම දැන් explain කරන්න යන්නේ. මම ඔයාලට කලින් කිව්වා වගේ අපි waterfall එකේදී ඔයාලා දැන් මට explain කරා හරි අර හැමදේම ඉවර කළා තමයි testing කරන්න යන්නේ, right? Agile එකේදී එහෙම නැහැ. අපි අපේ ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එකේ කොටස් තමයි අපි ඩිවෙලොප් කරන්නේ. ඒක තමයි මම මෙතන එක්ස්ප්ලেইন කරේ. මේ වචන අපි බලමු product backlog, sprint backlog ගැන පස්සේ, right? Okay. So when it comes to agile development, we do have someone known as product owner. So this product owner is the person who knows what is this particular software needed. That means the set of requirements, right, from the customer. So those requirements, or else the task to do that is listed, that is known as the product backlog, like this, which we have discussed earlier, right? Then product owner කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා. එයා තමයි දන්නේ මොනවද කරන්න ඕනේ කියන එක, right? එයා තමයි දන්නේ requirements මොනවද කරන්න ඕනේ කියන එක එයා තමයි දන්නේ product owner. ඒකට තමයි කියන්නේ අපි product backlog කියලා. මේ ඉස්සෙල්ලා මම ඔයාලට පෙන්නපු එක වගේ user stories set එක, right? Right? Not only user stories, maybe like a task which we need to follow that is known by the product owner, maybe like fixing bugs, right? Maybe user stories. So that's what the product backlog, right? So that is maintaining by the product owner. And then in Scrum, we do have a development team. So development team, is it like only developers, software engineers? What do you think? Development team in here, is it only software engineers? මෙතන development team කියන්නේ software engineers ලා විතරද? No, right? In this development team, there can be quality engineers, business analysts, software developers, right? So that is a team. So the entire team is known as the development team in agile development. Clear? Right. So this particular development team is going to select how much that they are going to develop from this product backlog during the given time period. So this given time period can be 1 week to 4 weeks, or even though in theory it's saying 1 week to 4 weeks, normally the sprint is 2 weeks, right? Okay. So once that is the picking up what should be happen or what to develop in the particular sprint, that is picking in the one of the meetings that is known as sprint planning meeting, right? From where they are going to pick what to develop, that is from the product backlog. Who is going to decide what to develop within the given time frame? That is development team. Is that clear? බඩගිනේද ඔයාලට?
A little bit.
Okay, right. So then we do have sprint backlog. Sprint backlog means within that, let's say that sprint is 2 weeks. So within that sprint, within the 2 weeks, what we are going to do, right? So that's what I have just explained in here. sprint backlog. Within the 2 weeks, what we are going to do, right? Okay. Right. So then, as I have mentioned before, we do have this iterative development, right? Like this. So that is, we can take it as a sprint. Normally it says 1 to 4 weeks in theory, but normally it's 2 weeks. So in the sprint, there's another person called Scrum Master, right? The Scrum Master is the person who is like a facilitator. When we are developing something, when we are testing something, let's say we don't have access to a particular environment, right? So then that blocker is going to solve by Scrum Master. He's not like a boss. He's like just checking whether are we doing fine, whether we do have any kind of difficulties to perform the task. Are we on a particular schedule? Likewise, the Scrum Master is checking that, right? The facilitator. So within this sprint, 2 weeks, even though it's saying 1 to 4 weeks, let's take as 2 weeks. What we are doing is we are just doing the test planning, right? And also we are just doing the test designing. We are doing the test execution. We are going to do the test automation, right? And then within a particular day, we do have the daily scrum. In daily scrum, the development team is there for the daily scrum. They are saying what we have done yesterday, what we have to do today, and are there any kind of blockers? Those are the things which we are going to discuss in the daily scrum, right? So the scrum master is going to note down, and then scrum master is tracking whether we are on track, and scrum master is checking whether is there any kind of blockers that he needs to resolve, likewise, right? So then and the each sprint, what we can do is maybe like at the end of the sprint, there's a product backlog refinement. That means the as I have mentioned before, all the user stories or the task which we need to do for the project that is maintained by the product owner. So with the team, that means the development team as well as the product owner, at the end of the sprint can get together and then check whether we have given the prioritizing correctly, whether do we still need this particular task. Likewise, that is what the looking of the product backlog and then doing some changes, that is what known as the product backlog refinement, right? And then, as I have mentioned before, at the end of this particular sprint, we do have a potential shippable product increment. Now, let's go back to our previous example. In here, you can see this particular sprint, we are taking these three options. A user, as a user, I want to sign up and log in so that I can access to my account. So then login form is going to be complete. And as a user, I want to search restaurant near me. So the search option to find it out a restaurant, that is going to be complete. And I want to add food items to the cart. So the cart will be completed, right? So these options are the shippable products. We do have shippable products at the end of the sprint, right? But we don't have how we can track the order. That is not developed yet, right? And what are the things that can be done as a restaurant owner? Those are not developed yet, because those we are going to develop maybe in another sprint. Is that clear? Right? That is what known as shippable product. Okay. So then when it comes to the sprint review, what we can do is we can just explain about this product which we have developed within this increment. That is what sprint review. Then we do have something known as sprint retrospective. Sprint retrospective means within the sprint, what we have done well, what we have done wrong, what we have to be done in order to do something proper. Likewise, it is like kind of like a recap, which what we have done. So that is what we are going to look in this particular meeting, that is known as sprint retrospective. Okay. Is that clear for y'all?
Yes.
Yes, miss.
Okay, right. So this is how Q is doing the things in the agile development, right? QE ගත්තාම දැන් අපි waterfall එකේදී නම් ඔක්කොම develop කරලා ඉවරලානේ අපි testing කරන්නේ. මේක එහෙම නැහැ. අපි කොටස් develop කරන හින්දා අපි මුලින් ඉඳන්ම මේ process එකේ ඉන්නවා. right? එතකොට අපිට කරන්න ඕන task මොනවද develop කරන්න ඕන? ඒ හැමදේම maintain කරන්න product ඕන. යා maintain කරන්නේ ඒවා product backlog එකේ. එතකොට ওই කියන ඔක්කොම ටික අපි එකවර develop කරන්න ගන්නේ නැහැ. ඩෙවලොප්මන්ට් ටීම් එකේ අපිත් ඉන්නවා software engineersලාත් ඉන්නවා business analystsලාත් ඉන්නවා. අපි මොකද කරන්නේ sprint meeting එකේදී අපි තෝර ගන්නවා product backlog එකෙන් මේ task ටික තමයි අපි මේ sprint එකේදී කරන්න කියලා. sprint එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් සති දෙකක කාලයක්. හැබැයි sprint එක සමහර වෙලාවට ඒ කියන්නේ theory එකේදී එන්නේ ඔයාලා exams කරනවා නම් scrum master related 1 to 4 weeks කියලා තියෙන්නේ. හැබැයි අපි normally practice ඒ කියන්නේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් practice කරන්නේ 2 weeks, right? එතකොට ස්ප්‍රින්ට් ප්ලෑනින් එකේදී අපි මේ විදිහට ප්‍රොඩක්ට් බෑක්ලොග් එකෙන් ගන්නවා ටාස්ක් අපි මේවා ඩෙවලොප් කරනවා කියලා. එතකොට ඒ ගන්න ටාස්ක් ටික ස්ප්‍රින්ට් බෑක්ලොග් එකේදී මේන්ටේන් කරනවා. right ඊට පස්සේ අපි ස්ප්‍රින්ට් එක ස්ටාර්ට් කරනවා. ස්ප්‍රින්ට් එක ස්ටාර්ට් කරපුවාම අපි ටෙස්ට් ප්ලෑනින් කරනවා, ටෙස්ට් ඩිසයිනින් කරනවා, ටෙස්ට් එක්සිකියුෂන්, ටෙස්ට් ඔටෝමේෂන් මේ ටික කරනවා. මේ දේවල් කරනකොට මේ ස්ක්‍රම් මාස්ටර් කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා. එයා තමයි බලන්නේ අපිට මොකක් හරි බ්ලොකර් එකක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒක මොකක් හරි සිස්ටම් එකකට නැත්තම් මොන හරි ටූල් එකක් නැත්තම් මොන හරි අපි දන්නේ නැති දෙයක් අපිට දැනගන්න ඕන දෙයක් තියෙනවා නම් අන්නේ දේවල් පොඩක් අපිට රිසෝල්ව් කරලා දෙන්නේ ස්ක්‍රම් මාස්ටර්. එතකොට දැන් අපි මේ ප්‍රොඩක්ට් බෑක්ලොග් එකේ ඉන්න ඇක්ටිවිටීස් ගන්න, ටාස්ක් ගන්න සමහරට මේ සමහර දේවල් ඩෙවලොප් කරනාට පස්සේ මේකේ තියෙන සමහර ටාස්ක් අපිට ඕන වෙන්නේ නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. අන්න ඒ වගේ ප්‍රොඩක්ට් බෑක්ලොග් එක පොඩක් බලන එක තමයි ප්‍රොඩක්ට් බෑක්ලොග් රිෆයින්මන්ට් එක කියලා කියන්නේ. right? ඊට පස්සේ අපි මේ සති දෙකේනේ වැඩ කරන්නේ. ඒතකොට මේ සති දෙකකදී වැඩ කරනකොට හැම දවසම අපි මීටින් එකක් ගන්නවා. ඒකට කියනවා ඩේලි ස්ක්‍රම් කියලා. ඒකේ තමයි අපි කතා වෙන්නේ. අපි ඊයේ මොනවද කරේ? අද මොනවද කරන්න ඉන්නේ? right? අද වැඩ කරගෙන යනකොට මොකක් හරි බ්ලොක් වෙලා දේවල් තියෙනවද? ඔන්න ඔය දේවල් අපි එක එකනා කියන්න ඕනේ. ඒකට තමයි අපි කියන්නේ ස්ක්‍රම් එක කියලා. right? ඒතකොට ස්ක්‍රම් මාස්ටර් ඒවා අපි කියන දේවල් අහගෙන ඉඳලා අපි ට්‍රැක් එකේ යනවද මොන හරි බ්ලොකර්ස් තියෙනවද කියන එක නෝට් ඩවුන් කරගෙන අපිට උදව් කරනවා ඒව රිසල්ව් කරගන්න. ස්ප්‍රින්ට් එක ඉවර වුණාම අපිට තියෙනවා ඩිවෙලොප් කරපු ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එකේ පාර්ට් එකක්. අර මම ඔයාලට ඉස්සෙල්ලා පෙන්නුවා වගේ අර රෙස්ටොරන්ට් ඔන්ලයින් ඕඩර් කරන අපේ සිස්ටම් එකේදී අපිට එක පාර්ට් එකක් තියෙන්න පුළුවන් කාර්ට් එක කම්ප්ලීට්. right? ඒ පාර්ට් එක කම්ප්ලීට්. ලොග් වෙන එක කම්ප්ලීට්. හැබැයි ඕනට කරන්න ඕන දේවල් ටික ඊට පස්සේ තව items මොනවද තියෙන්නේ ඒවා ඇඩ් වෙන ඒවා ඒ parts තාම ඩෙවලොප් කරන්න. ඒවා වෙන ස්ප්‍රින්ට් එකකදී කරන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට මේ ස්ප්‍රින්ට් එකකදී ස්ප්‍රින්ට් රිවිව් කියලා කියන්නේ අපි ඩෙවලොප් කරේ මොනවද කියන එක අපිට එක්ස්ප්ලেইন කරන්න පුළුවන්. ස්ප්‍රින්ට් රෙට්‍රොස්පෙක්ටිව් එකේදී වෙන්නේ මේ සති දෙක ඇතුළත මේ ටාස්ක් එක කරනකොට අපි අතින් මොනවද උන දේවල් මොනවද හොඳින් වෙන්න තිබ්බ දේවල් අපි මොනවද තව ඒ කියන්නේ මේ දේවල් කරා නම් මේක තව දුරටත් හොඳට වෙන්න තිබ්බා ඔන්න ඔය වගේ ඩිස්කෂන් එකක් යන එක තමයි ස්ප්‍රින්ට් රෙට්‍රොස්පෙක්ටිව් කියලා කියන්නේ. එතකොට මේ දේවල් වල අවුට්පුට් එක අරගෙන අපි ඊළඟ ස්ප්‍රින්ට් එක හොඳට වැඩ කරගෙන යන්න පුළුවන්. Okay? Is that clear to you all?
Yes, madam.
Yes, miss.
Right. We'll
Yes.
move forward. Now, when you are going for the interviews, you might get some questions like what is a sprint retrospective? How QE is going to fit into Scrum practices? What is a product backlog? Likewise, the basic questions you might get. What is a daily Scrum? Likewise. So because of that, best way is to remember these things not in a lengthy paragraphs, right? That's what I believe. So you either can remember things like these type of simple diagrams, or the other option is like these kind of tables, right? ඔයාලා අහන්න පුළුවන් ඉන්ටර්වියුස් වල රෙට්‍රොස්පෙක්ටිව් එකක් කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? ස්ක්‍රම් එක කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? right? කවුද ටාස්ක් ටික මේන්ටේන් කරන්නේ? right? අනේ වගේ questions අහන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට ඕවා මතක තියාගන්න බෑ අපිට ගොඩාක් වාක්‍ය තියෙන paragraphs තියෙන වගේ ඇත්තට මතක තියාගන්න බෑ. එතකොට මම හිතන විදිහට තමයි මම believe කරන දේ අපිට හරි ලේසියෙන් දෙයක් මතක තියාගන්න පුළුවන් images විදිහට තියනවා නම් එහෙම නැත්නම් මේ විදිහට summarize කරලා තියනවා නම් right? So this is an activity which I wanted to give it to you all, that is to fill in the table by writing the appropriate description for each Scrum role, workflow, event, and artifacts, right? So the product owner, Scrum Master, development team, likewise, we have discussed these things. I just wanted you to fill the description. Since we don't have time, I have done it for you all, right? Like this. So you can just take a screenshot if you want and keep it with you. I think they are gonna share the slides. I'm not sure. We'll check, right? So if not, this is what we have just discussed. Okay. So it's in very short term. You can see product owner is the one who manages the product backlog and defines the priorities, represent customer needs, right? So then what is a product backlog? There is a prioritized list of tasks maintained by product owner. So it's very short and simple. Right. So this is in here, product owner, Scrum Master, development team, right? We can take those as roles. Product backlog, sprint backlog, we can take it as artifacts. Sprint planning, and then daily scrum, sprint review, sprint retrospective, backlog refinement. Those we can take it as workflows. Another important thing is when it comes to the daily scrum, where we are going to discuss about what I have done yesterday, what I'm going to do today, and are there any kind of blockers. That particular meeting, normally it should be a very short meeting, like 15 minutes, right? It should not be a lengthy meeting. Okay, are we good to move forward?
Yes, please.
Right, so we will discuss another activity. Right, so this is an activity. What you have to do is I have given a small scenario, right? Let's say that you are testing an e-commerce mobile application which is developed using waterfall model, okay? And during testing, you try to purchase a product and proceed checkout. So what happened was in here, the place order button becomes unresponsive after clicking it once, right? This particular button. And then the spinner keeps loading, but nothing happens. This one. And also no confirmation message or error appears, right? It's just spinning. That's it. Once you have clicked on the placeholder. And then next, when the user returns to the cart, the item quantity is doubled unexpectedly. I have entered 1, but now in my cart it's 2. So the currency symbol show as dollar mark, even though the app is set to use Sri Lankan rupees, right? And the last one, on retrying the app, it crashed. Now what I want to do is, based on the above given scenario, I want you to answer these questions. First one, in the context of the waterfall model, how challenging would it be to fix this issue during the testing phase? Right? I have said that we are using in here waterfall model. So I'm asking in waterfall model, how challenging you are going to, what are the challenges you are going to face if you are doing the testing. And if this project had been developed using the agile methodology instead, how might the outcome or handling of these issues different? So instead of waterfall, if we are using agile as the development, then how the things can be different, right? Shall I put you into the breakout rooms? So then you can discuss. I'll give you like 5 minutes. So can you all take a screenshot of the activity? This is the scenario.
Sure, Miss.
Done. Okay. And these are the two questions. Okay, so let me put back to the breakout rooms. Okay, so welcome back. I hope that you guys found some answers. So let's discuss since we don't have much time.
Okay, Miss, shall I start?
Uh, yes, that's possible. In that case, do you all have kind of like how many extra minutes that you can give it to me? We need to
Uh,
wind up the session by 12:30, right? Do you all have time?
yeah, it's already 10. It's fine. For me, it's fine. But I don't know about others.
What about y'all?
No.
Okay, is my screen visible to y'all?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, right. So, what my plan is next, I just wanted to discuss the answer of the question which I have given to you all. And then I wanted to discuss this important section, which is career progression in software quality engineering. I think this is something that you actually need to know. So, Abhishek, are you undergraduate or are you working somewhere?
Um, well, I'm going to start my second year soon.
Okay, right. What about Anurad? What's your background?
I'm undergraduate.
Okay. Have you done any internship?
No, not yet.
Right. Hasini, what about you?
I already completed my fourth year second sem and looking for the college.
Right. So have you done any internship?
Yes.
Is it related to the QA?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Nice. What about Layodh?
Yeah, I'm currently working in industry.
Right.
Past 2 years. Yeah.
So it's related to QA, right?
Yeah,
Is that
QA.
so? Okay. So then the things which I'm going to discuss next that might be needed much for Abhishek, Anuradha, and Hasini, maybe a little bit for Layodhya if you haven't done any kind of like ISTQB certifications. Otherwise, it's not kind of like important. Okay,
Yeah, I have done ISTQB foundation only. Yeah, I'm planning to do
the
do the
next one.
certification as well. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good. So why you are here today? Because you need to move to maybe like automation.
Yeah, I need to brush up my knowledge and automation as well. I need
Okay.
to, yeah.
Good. So it's like this, even for me also, when I'm now I'm working as a senior software quality engineer at Cisco Lab, still if I need to go to another company, so when I'm going for some interviews, they are still asking some basics. So it's very important you to know these things. I have just note down some sample questions as well. So if you are hungry, so then you can just I can give you like 10 to 15 minutes break, or else what you prefer? Shall we continue? You guys better say.
I think we can continue. It's fine.
Right. So we'll continue and then you can just have peacefully done with everything. Right. Okay. So my answer I have given to these type of questions you may have in your interviews as well, scenario based questions like this, right? So in here, this specifically in the question, it's saying that we have used waterfall model. So then it's asking because of waterfall model that they have followed, what are the challenges that they have to face or you have to face, and how we can overcome by using it those challenges with agile methodology, right? So these are the things which I have noted. So when it comes to the waterfall model, as you already know, once the everything has been developed, we are going to do testing. So because of that, if we are going to do some changes, it will actually time consuming as well as it will cost much, because if we know these defects earlier phases, so then we can quickly fix it, maybe like in a next sprint, if we have identified a particular defect in a previous sprint, we can fix it in the next sprint, right? So that's why earlier phases are already completed and locked. So then if we are going back, then we have to do once again requirement analysis, design, development. See, it's once again we have to do everything from the beginning, right? And then changes require a formal change request process, right? We cannot just do the code correction. No, as I have mentioned before, we have to do everything starting from the beginning, requirements analysis, designing, development, those stuff, right? And then the third point is testing happens late, so major issues are found only at the late, right? So that is a drawback in waterfall model. And fixes may need significant code or architecture changes. That is another drawback. And then developers may have moved on to other projects, causing delays because they have done with that project. Development is done. So then only we are doing the testing in waterfall model. So the developers they have assigned to some other projects. So because of that, the time that they are giving to the existing project, maybe that's maybe can be less, right? Causing delay because they may also forget the things that they have done. So they also need to rework. So that's why this is very not, we cannot say it's not suitable, but most of the time it do have a lot of disadvantages, the waterfall model, right? So when it comes to the agile methodology, as we have already discussed, we are just developing the software part by part, and the testing is happen for the each and every part. So if there's a kind of like a defect, so then we can fix it in the next part. So likewise, it's very flexible method. So because of that, features like placeholder and checkout would have been tested earlier sprint, allowing bugs to be catch and fixed earlier, right? And also continuous testing and feedback help catch the issues sooner, right? And the testers, developers, product owners work closely and collaboratively, enabling faster communication and quicker resolution. We are working as a team, right? In that particular team, we do have testers, developers, product owners. We are working together, not like developers develop everything and then finally we are doing the testing. It's not like that. So that's why we can communicate properly and we can just resolve the things very quickly. And then customer and tester feedback on issues like currency mismatch, UX problems could be incorporated immediately in the next sprint, right? We are not waiting at the end. So the agile encourage frequent builds and demos so the team would catch critical issues like app crashes and incorrect card behavior earlier, preventing them from reaching the final stage, right? Because we are doing sprint review, right? So in the sprint review, we are just demonstrating what we have developed. So that's why if instead of waterfall, if we have used agile, these benefits can be have for that particular scenario which I have given, right? Is this clear for you all?
Yes,
Yes, yeah.
miss.
Okay, so we will quickly move on to the most important part. Is my screen visible to you? Give me a moment.
Yes, miss.
Okay. What about now? Is it visible? Now you have to see the
Yes.
career progression in software quality engineering, right? So this is very important. If you have selected software quality engineering as your career path, it's like this. Now I know when we are just in our university, sometimes we just hate coding, right? So we just wanted to go for a job where we are doing less coding, right? So maybe because of that, some people, or maybe even us also, we are just going for the quality engineering field. So nowadays, quality engineering, it's not just like less coding. It is like we have to code same, not I'm saying that exact same weight as the developer, but we do have actually do codings, right? Not just doing the clicking the buttons and checking the stuff. No, it's not like that. When you are going for an interview, nowadays they are asking some basics related to the automation as well, right? Not only the manual testing. So that's why it's now kind of like a challenging field. And also now we do have AI as well. AI not yet impacted quality engineering much, but in near future it will, right? But we need to like find it out way how we can adapt with AI. Okay, දැන් අපි නිකන් හිතනවා නම් මේ කෝඩ් කරන එක මහා කරදරයක් ඒකින්ද කෝඩින් අඩු රස්සාවකට යනවා කියලා එනවා quality engineering තෝරගන්න එක ඇත්තටම මේ තෝරගත්තට කමක් නැහැ. හැබැයි ඉස්සරහට යන ටිකක් අමාරුයි. මොකද දැන් අපෙන් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන ස්කිල් සෙට් එක නිකන් ටෙස්ටිං කරන ස්කිල් සෙට් එකක් නෙමෙයි. කෝඩින් කරන්නත් පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕන. මම කියන්නේ ඩෙවලොපර් තරම කියලා. හැබැයි ඒ කිට්ටු වෙන අපි දැනගෙන ඉන්න ඕන, right? It's not like only coding, right? So it's like you need to know about version controlling, CI/CD, right? Those things also they are gonna just check how you are good at when it comes to quality engineering field. So we with this particular topic we will discuss about the career ladder of QE and your part to becoming a quality engineer and also ISTQB certification. Finally, we will discuss about how you can crack your interview. So when it comes to the career ladder, so there's a good ladder in QE because you need to see the progress, right? Whether is it kind of like a birth to get a job in this particular field or not, you have to check. So you can see in here, there's a good career ladder for QE field as well, right? ඉස්සරහා ඉදිරියක් තියෙන දෙයක් කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒකට ඔයාලට එහෙම ගන්න මෙතන පේනවා හොඳ ladder එකක් තියෙනවා. And I have already said that quality engineering, it is very important to become the company to become success in the business world, right? So this is a good field, similar to the development as well, right? But the skill set that is required, that is different when it comes to earlier. So that's the thing, right? QE කවදාකවත් නැති වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මම ඔයාලටත් ඉස්සලා explain කරා QE තිබ්බොත් කොහොමද කම්පැනි එකක් බිස්නස් වර්ල්ඩ් එකේ සක්සස් වෙන්නේ කියන එක ප්‍රූව් කරා මම ඇත්තටම වෙලා තියෙන දේවල් වලින්. එතකොට QE කවදාකවත් නැති වෙන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි QE ෆීල්ඩ් එකේ අපෙන් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන ස්කිල් සෙට් එක තමයි වෙනස් වෙන්නේ. ඉතින් ඒකට අපි adapt වෙන්න ඕන, right? So you can see you can start as an intern and you can go up to the director quality engineering. That's possible, right? And then you can just become a associate quality engineer, senior quality engineer, and then you can become associate quality engineer lead, senior quality engineer lead, and then you do have two kind of like ways. Either you can do some management stuff, managing people, managing projects, or else you can just go with this architect part, that means more into some technical stuff. So likewise, there's a ladder separately divided into two sections, right? So that's the career ladder. And when it comes to your part to becoming a quality engineer, as I have mentioned before, it's not enough to have just the degree, right? You need to have degree plus either you have to follow a degree or you have to have a degree, right? Or else maybe like some, if it is not professional courses in quality engineering, right? You have to have. And then when it comes to the soft skills, this is very important, right? You have to have good problem solving skills, communication. You have to become a team player and passionate. You have to just show that you, even though you don't know, but you are willing to learn and do, you can adapt to the things very quickly. You have to show those skills when it comes to an interview, also when you are doing your day-to-day work as well, right? And when it comes to the tools and technologies, you have to know about these things, right? Basics of these things. Selenium, Cypress. It's true that if you know Selenium, you can just quickly adapt to the Cypress, but you need to know basics of these things as well, right? Postman, Rest Assured, Jenkins, JMeter, JIT, Java, Python, JavaScript, C Sharp, SQL. So those things you need to know when it comes to the tools and technologies, right? To get into the quality engineering field, at least you need to know basic about this, because these things are going to ask in your interviews, right? if now as an undergraduate, if you are joined for the internship, so in the interview, they are going to ask the questions from the whatever things that you have put into your CV, right? And as undergraduates, what they are looking for, most of the companies, regarding the projects that you have done, and whether you are good at the programming such as Java, Python, likewise SQL, and then whether you are familiar with JIT, right? They might not ask about Selenium, Postman, but if you know those things basics, if you can say that, okay, I know these things, so then it will be like added advantage for you, because you know that there's a huge competition in the industry. So you have to always market yourself. You have to just show them that you are something value to invest on. So that's why, right? මං කියන්නේ undergraduate කෙනෙක් internship එකට යනකොට මේව ඔක්කොම අහන්නේ නැහැ. එයාලගෙන් බලන්නේ ඔයාලගේ CV එකේ දාලා තියෙන දේවල් තමයි ඇත්තට මේ වගේ තමයි questions අහන්නේ. ඒකට ඔයාලගේ projects මොනවද? ඒ වගේම programming skills, ඊට පස්සේ SQL, ඊළඟට ඒ වගේ දේවල් තමයි අහන්නේ. JIT කියන්නේ එහෙම අහනවා. හැබැයි ඔයාලා පොඩ්ඩක් පෙන්වන්න පුළුවන් නම් නෑ මම මේ දේවලුත් දන්නවා. මේ Selenium ගැන දන්නවා, Cypress ගැන දන්නවා, right? දෙකම ඕනේ නෑ. එකක් හරි දන්නවා, Postman දන්නවා, API testing කරවෙන්නේ වෙන්නේ මෙහෙමයි, එහෙම දන්නවා කියලා basics ටික පෙන්වන්න පුළුවන් නම් එහෙනම් ඔයාට ඒක ප්ලස් පොයින්ට් එකක් වෙනවා. මොකද ඔයාලම දන්නවා කී දෙනෙක් පාස් අවුට් වෙනවද කියලා යුනිවර්සිටිස් වලින් ඩිග්‍රී එක අරගෙන. එතකොට ලොකු කම්පිටිෂන් එකක් තියෙන්නේ, right? ඒකින්ද. So recommended certification, I'm recommending you to follow ISTQB certified tester. That is there are plenty of certifications available, but I'm recommending you to follow the foundation level certificate. If you do have time, better to do it. And also agile testing certifications also there, but in order to become a quality engineer, so I just highlight this ISTQB certifications much. And let's talk about the ISTQB certifications. So in here, there are like several certifications. Anyways, you have to start with the foundation level, right? So the foundation level, that is the certified tester examination. So this is currently a paper-based exam venue one. That means you have to go to BMICH, and normally it's in at BMICH. The venue can be changed, so you have to just do the exam. But the rest of the exams related to the ISTQB, they are going to be online, right? So then advanced level also there, and the specialized level also there. When it comes to the foundation level, they are actually not asking any prior qualification, prior educational qualification, no nothing. Just your NIC, that is enough. And the current price for this particular certification is 15,000. Okay, but if you need to complete any advanced level certification or specialized certification, they are always asking about your ISTQB foundation level certificate. That means the certified tester foundation level, this particular certificate you have to give. So, and then you can see the price was a little bit higher than the basic one. And NIC you have to provide. And if you are going to do some advanced certifications, then you need to provide the ISTQB foundation level certification, plus you need to have 2 years of experience in quality engineering field. That's because these advanced certifications are kind of like little challenging. So that's why they are asking for 2 years of experience in the relevant field, right? So, so that's the basics behind the ISTQB certification. So I'm recommending you to follow ISTQB certified tester one, this one. So if you want to get some idea about these certifications, is my screen visible to you? I mean the website, is it visible?
Yeah, it's
to you?
visible, miss.
Right. So
Yeah.
I have added the links as well. From this link, the Sri Lankan certified, the Sri Lankan Software Testing Board. This is the organization which is conducting the ISTQB exams in Sri Lanka. So if you have gone to this particular website, you can click this register for next exam. And in there, the details which I have given to you, and also the exam date and when is going to be the exam, where is it going to be happen, and then all the exams that is going to be happen in that given date, and those details, the when you have to register. Likewise, all details are given in here, right? Okay, so then, and another thing, when it comes to these ISTEB certifications, it's actually not having any kind of expiry date. It is lifetime valid certifications. Okay, right. So if you are planning to register for the certified test examination, then my recommendation is to just check the registration start date and time and get registered exactly at that particular time, because it's very kind of like the seats are limited. So the seats are going to be filled very quickly. Okay. Right. So if you need to get the details, that means uh, the syllabus and everything, this is the website which you need to follow. ISTQB, the International Software Quality Board website. So in there you can find it out, certifications. You can just, this is the certified tester foundation level. This is the examination you have to do first. So in there you can find it out, the syllabus and some sample papers also there. Okay. Right. So from our course, what we are doing is with the things which I'm going to cover, those stuff can be in your certified tester examination as well. As an example, today morning also I have just explained to you all 7 principles of quality engineering. So that is I have taken from the foundation level certified tester examination syllabus, right? Okay. And the rest of the things which we are going to discuss, that means the testing types and test design techniques. So if you do have knowledge about those, then it is easier for you to crack this exam as well. And this exam, it's like if you are just remembering things and trying to do the exam, it is going to be difficult. What you need to do is you need to just know what is it and you need to apply it. So that's the nature of the exam. හරි අර කටපාඩම් ගිහින් කරලා ලියන්න නම් මේ exam එක ටිකක් අමාරුයි. හැබැයි ඔයා ඒකෙන් කියන්නේ මොකද්ද කියලා හරියට තේරුම් අරගෙන හිටියොත් ඒ exam එකේ තියෙන උත්තර ටික ලියන්න එච්චර අමාරු වෙන එකක් නෑ. And also it is going to be MCQ, and if I'm not wrong, there are around 40 questions that you have to face. And when you are registering, remember you have to pick your language as the English as non-native, right? You are not a native one, right? The non-native, pick the non-native, because otherwise you will have only 15 minutes less, right? 15 minutes වැඩිපුර දෙනවා මේ මගේ ලැන්ග්වේජ් එක ඉංග්‍රීසි නෙමෙයි කියලා පික් කරොත් ඒ කියන මතක තියාගන්න රෙජිස්ටර් වෙනකොට ඉංග්‍රීසි නෙමෙයි කියන option එක pick කරන්න නැත්නම් මේ විනාඩි 15ක් අපරාධේ, right? Okay. So these are the tips which I wanted to give to you all, how you can crack your interview, right? So right, I think, give me a moment. Right. So you should know about programming, SQL, QE concepts, agile concepts, and it's good to know some basic things related to the UI automation, API automation, and also in the interviews, they are checking your QE knowledge as well as this testing mindset, right? So for y'all, since you have been there from morning, so I have just list down some sample questions, right? I'm not saying these are going to ask in at Cisco Labs interviews. No, it's not like that. These are like common questions that you might get in your interviews, right? ඔයාලා උදේ ඉඳන් හිටියානේ ඒකින්ද මම හිතුවා පොඩක් මගේ පැත්තේ පොඩක් උදව් කරන්න ඕනි කියලා. ඒකින්ද මම මේ විදිහට questions ටිකක් list down කරා. ඔයාලට interviews වලදී අහන්න පුළුවන්. මේකෙන් මම කියන්නේ Cisco labs වල මේ වලදී interviews වලදී මේ questions අහනවා කියලා. එහෙම නෙමෙයි. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මේ questions interviews වලදී අහනවා. Right? So some of the interviews they just wanted to test your programming skills, programming knowledge in loops, functions, right? So because of that, they are giving these type of patterns, right? And also to check your algorithm knowledge, to like ascending and descending, sorting type of questions will be there, right? And also how to write a program to reverse string. Now, reverse a string, it's like reverse a word. That is a one type of question, right? Another type of question is reverse the words inside the sentence, right? So that is another type of question. And then there can be like write function to check if a string is a palindrome or not. What is a palindrome? What palindrome can? Any idea? අර සමහර වචන තියෙන්නේ ඉස්සරහට ලියාගෙන ගියත් එහා පැත්ත හැරෙව්වත් එකම වචනේ තියෙන්නේ. දැන් as an example let's take check. check කියන එක CHEC කියන්නේ. ඕක අනිත් පැත්තට ලියුවොත් කොහොමද ලියන්න ඕනේ? KCEHC. එතකොට ඒක check නෙමෙයිනේ. What about madam? Madam. MADAM. So if you are going to write it in reverse also, it is MADAM, right? So that's what palindrome. And also there can be some questions like they will give you 2 dates and then they will ask you to find it out the difference between the date, right? And then some questions can be given to you all to check the parentheses, whether the parentheses are open and closed, those things are correctly done. Those type of questions will be given to you all to code, right, in the interviews. And then explain OOP concepts. So when you are explaining, this is going to be definitely in your interviews. So when you are explaining your OOP concepts, better to give the definition, give some real world example, and also if you can just write a simple code, not the lengthy one, right? Like maybe small, if it is a polymorphism, if you can explain how overloading and overriding happens, and then you can just write simple function, then that's enough, right? මේ explain කරන්න මේ WP concepts explain කරන්න කියන එක ගොඩක් interviews වල අහන දෙයක්. එතකොට ඔයා explain කරනකොට මේක explain කරන්න පුළුවන් definition එක ඉස්සලාම කියන්න පුළුවන්. ඊට පස්සේ WP concepts කොහොමද ඔයා real world example එකක් පොඩ්ඩක් දෙන්න පුළුවන් නම් ඒක ගොඩක් හොඳයි. ඊට අමතරව ඔයාලට පුළුවන් නම් පොඩි කෝඩ් එකක් ලියලා පෙන්නන්න. මම කියන්නේ සම්පූර්ණ කෝඩ් එක නෙවෙයි. දැන් අපි polymorphism ගත්තොත් එහෙම ඔයාලට පුළුවන් overloading overriding පොඩි නිකන් function එක පෙන්නන්න කොහොමද overloading වෙන්නේ, overriding different parameters, method body එක වෙනස් වෙනවා. අන්න ඒ වගේ පොඩක් explain කරන්න පුළුවන් නම් හොඳයි. When you are giving the definition also, don't worry. No need to by heart the things. You can just explain it the way that you can explain. Clear? Right. And then some questions can be like from the access modifiers and like how you can access private variables, right? And some questions related to the constructors, like what is a construct in Java? How is it different from a method, right? And then there can be some SQL questions to find it out the second highest salary from a table, and like to explain about joins, right? And how you can just find it out the duplicate records, how you can remove the duplicate records and get the non-duplicate records. Likewise, there can be some questions which you have to write queries, SQL, right? And then when it comes to the QE concepts, there can be questions like you to ask how this functional testing and non-functional testing different, and different testing types, and when to perform smoke testing, right? And then why we need to do a regression. Likewise, those questions can be there. And to check your knowledge, whether you do know about the test design techniques, these type of questions can be given to you. You are testing an age field that accept values between 18 and 60. What boundary values would you test, right? And there's another question that is frequently asked during some interviews that is related to the severity and priority of a defect, right? You can just ask to give some examples where severity of that defect is low and priority is high, or maybe both severity and priority is low. So don't worry, we are going to cover these things within our sessions. I just wanted to say that these type of questions can be asked. I know that you don't know about severity priority, but we can cover those concepts later on. And then today we have discussed regarding the agile development. So then questions like what is the role of an QA in agile team, and how does this retrospective help improve quality in next sprint? Those things can be asked. And when it comes to the UI automation, the basics that in an interview can ask is what are the different methods you can use to capture UI element, right? So if you are testing a website, if you now we are automating, right? So that means normally we are just clicking a button. Now we are not going to click buttons. It is going to be happen by the code. So then as human, we know that, okay, this button we have to click. We can identify the button. But in coding, how we are going to identify the button. So that's what element capturing. So that is also going to be covered in the automation section in our course. And then some of the interview questions can be there for you to check the knowledge about XPath. So which one is better, absolute XPath or relative XPath, why, those kind of things. And the difference between the driver quit and close. And then there can be a small HTML code snippet is given for you all to write an XPath, right? And then maybe like the functions which we are using to automate, differences between those can be asked, such as find element and find elements. What are the difference between those? And when it comes to the API testing, basics of API testing questions will be there. So the difference between put and patch methods, how we are going to use authentication in API testing, and some validation codes like what is the idea behind 404, then if we get that, then what is the possible reasons? So those type of questions can be asked. And also to just check your testing ability, like the way that you are thinking, to check that maybe interviewer can ask from you to imagine you are asked to test a pen. So then how you are going to do that? Or maybe like you are asked to count the number of windows in a large building, or maybe buildings in a city. So then how we are going to do? So those type of questions can be asked from you, right? And when it comes to IQ reasoning, right, these type of questions can be asked. As an example, how can you cut a cake into 8 pieces using only 3 cuts, right? You need to think and answer. And these type of questions, like there are 3 bulbs in a room, each controlled by a separate switch outside the room, and one bulb is not working. So you cannot see inside the room before and after switching. You can enter the room only once. How can you figure out which switch controls the bulb which is not working? Clear? So you need to think these and you need to answer. So those are the things which I need to discuss from this lesson. Any questions?
Miss, so
Yes.
like all of these sample questions are like possible, might be possible, they might ask in like interview, right? But it's not a guarantee.
No, no, no. This is not a guarantee. I'm just saying normally these are the things that they are asking, not in Cisco, maybe in Cisco Labs and maybe in different other organizations as well, because they just wanted to check how your knowledge in loops, arrays. So then they might give you a small exercise, small coding. So you just have to use like maybe Notepad or maybe like online compile and then code it, right? It's not, I'm saying that these are gonna be in your interview. No, it's not like that, but can be there. If you are saying that you, okay, you know, UI automation, then to check your knowledge, they might ask you to write a simple XPath, right? And if you are saying that, okay, I'm good at API testing, then they might ask you some response code. What is 200? What is 500? And likewise, right? So that's what I'm saying. So if you are going for the industry for the very first time, you if you are not saying that you are aware about UI testing, API testing, then these questions are not going to ask from you. But I'm saying that, as I have mentioned earlier, since this is a very competitive field, if you know, I'm not saying that in-depth knowledge is needed, but if you know something, then it is going to be a kind of like a advantage for you, right? මේවා මම කලින් කිව්වේ මේවා කම්පැනිස් වලින් මේ සිස්කෝ එකෙන් දැන් මම සිස්කෝ හින්දා සිස්කෝ එකෙන් මේවා අහනවා කියලා නෙමෙයි මම කියන්නේ. මම කියන්නේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් දැන් මමත් ඉන්ටර්විව්ස් ගිහිල්ලා තියෙනවානේ. ඒතර මට මේ අහපු සමහර ප්‍රශ්න සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අහන දේවල් තමයි මම ඔයාලට මේ ලිස්ට් ඩවුන් කරේ. මේ වගේ ක්වෙස්චන්ස් එන්න පුළුවන් කියන එක. එතකොට දැන් ඔයා ලූප්ස් ගැන දන්නවා කියලා කිව්වහම ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑමින් හොඳයි කියලා කිව්වහම එයාලා ටෙස්ට් කරන්න විදියක් නැහැ නේ ඉන්ටර්විව් කරන එක්කෙනාට. ඒතර මේ වගේ ක්වෙස්චන්ස් ඔයාලගෙන් අහන්න පුළුවන්. පොඩි කෝඩයක් ලියන්න කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන්. සාමාන්‍ය ඩබල් OP concepts නම් ඇත්තට ගොඩක් තැන්වලදී අහනවා ඔයාලගෙන්, right? ඊට පස්සේ ඔයා කියලා නැත්තම් ඔයාගේ CV එකේ ඔයා UI testing දන්නවා, API testing දන්නවා කියලා එහෙනම් අවුලක් නැහැ. හැබැයි ඔයා කියලා තියනවා නම් නිකන් ඔයා මොනවද දන්නේ කියලා බලන්න මේ විදිහට ඔයාගෙන් අහන්න පුළුවන් XPath එකක් ලියන්න කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන්, right? ඊළඟට ඔය status codes මොනවද තියෙන්නේ, ඒ වගේ මොනවද කියන්නේ, ඔය වගේ ප්‍රශ්න අහන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට ඔයා ඉන්ටර්න්ෂිප් යනවා නම් මේ හැමදේම දැනගෙන යන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. හැබැයි ඔයා මේ ටෙස්ටිං, UI ටෙස්ටිං, API එහෙම දන්නවා කියලා කිව්වොත් ඒක ඇත්තටම ඔයාලට පොඩි ප්ලස් පොයින්ට් එකක් වෙනවා. right? Okay. So other questions? Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question like what certification recommending after the ISTQB foundation level, like
Oh,
what's the best option for next certification?
right. Let me answer your question. Okay. Screen is visible, right?
Yeah, visible.
Okay. In here, once you have done the foundation level, then you do have two paths that you can do, right? Either advanced one, then the specialized one. So with the specialized one, you can do agile tester. This is kind of like not much difficult one, but you have to study, yeah? But you can just face it. So if you are just willing to just get a certification in kind of like specialized, that means in a performance or mobile application, then you can choose this particular path. Agile tester, it is good, but if you can do performance testing or maybe like mobile application testing certification, then that's better than the agile testing, because it's not, to be honest, much to grab or much to learn. But once you have completed certified tester, if you are like if you want to move into automation, then it's better to do test automation engineer. This is option. And if you are doing manual testing, and if you need to do the second part of this certification, then it's good to do the test analyst advanced one. This one. This is, I have done, this is kind of like, if you need to study anyway, it is little bit tough. Okay. But
Okay.
if you just want to get some idea about the entire non-functional thing, now in here it is performance, usability. Likewise, they have just divided, right? Security here and there. But if you need to get overall idea about the non-functional stuff, then it is better to do technical test analyst. This is technical test analyst means it is not related to like automating things. No, it is like non-functional area. This is the functional area for the test analyst, right? Test analyst කරන්නේ ඔයා functional දැන් මේ certified test එකේ second part එක වගේ තමයි මේ තියෙන්නේ. advanced එක test analyst. හැබැයි මේ
Okay.
functional part එක තමයි කව වෙන්නේ. non functional බලනවා නම් performance security ඔක්කොම ටික බලනවා නම් එහෙනම් මෙන්න මේ technical test analyst කියන එක තමයි හොඳ. When it comes to the automation engineer, this is as I aware, it is not kind of a practical exam. It's going to be like theories and scenario based questions, right? අර
Theory one,
practical
yeah.
එහෙම එකක් නෙමෙයි මම දන්න විදිහට නම් තියෙන්නේ. So
Ah.
I recommend you to do
As per the current demand, AI testing is
yes,
a good
it is
choice.
not
So,
listed there. It is a good one. This is in here.
yeah, yeah,
This is a good one. Once again, in here also, it is not having any kind of like practical stuff, right?
technical things, yeah, practical, yeah,
It is theory.
all theory, yeah.
Nowadays, it's like I have just seen few of the companies, they are asking for test analyst, not now the certified tester one, because the most of them they do have certified tester certification. They're asking for test
Okay.
analyst now. AI is
Okay.
AI testing is a good one, even though it's not covering practical stuff. And I would recommend this one. And this is also a good one, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Any other questions? Okay, so if not, we are
No,
actually
miss.
to wind up. So we have just discussed these things. What is software quality engineering, goals of QE, impact of QE with real-world example, quality engineering principles, the role of QE in agile development environment, and then what are things that you can just do to get a job in QE field. So those are things which we have discussed. And in next day, I'm planning to discuss with y'all about testing life cycle, test types, test designing. Test designing, I'm pretty much sure I'm not going to have time to complete the entire session, but I'm going to do part of the test design session. So that's it. Thank you for your time. And if there's nothing else you need to ask from me, it's over to you, Mr. Rasika. Thank you. මොන හරි තියනවාද අභිෂේක අනුරාධ හසිනි ලයෝධ්‍ය අහන්න
From sir?
from me?
Oh,
Nothing.
no, miss.
Okay, right. So Mr. Rasika want to just talk to you all. Give me a moment. ඔයාලට බඩගිනීද?
A little bit.
Layodhi, what's your role? What you're doing at your working place? If you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm currently working as a associate engineer, and Mainly, I worked on two client projects now.
Mm-hmm.
Then basically, actually, I'm working in manual things like
Yes.
I wanted to shift to like automation
Okay.
based.
What's your company, if you find to say it?
Yeah, sure. It's words.
Oh, you're working at Purchaser.
Yeah, yeah.
They do have automation projects, right?
Yeah, they have automation projects, but I think it's rare. Like
Ah,
most of
okay.
them, yeah, manual projects.
Mm-hmm. So when it comes to Cisco Labs, it's actually a good place to work. I'm not like what do you call market the company, but still it's a
Yeah,
good place because we are
yeah.
getting like a overall experience. So first we need to do like manual testing, and then later
Yeah.
on we need to do automation. And some of the
Mhm.
projects, in my projects, I don't have any API testing or like performance. In my team, there's a dedicated people for that performance testing. So overall,
Dedicated separate teams
yes.
now.
Yes.
Okay.
So overall, I'm getting the UI testing and then manual testing experience. But in some of the projects, they have to do everything by their own. I mean, the manual automation, perf, data testing, everything. So we do have
Uh,
actually a good process at Cisco Labs. But when it comes to learning stuff, I heard that most of the giants in industry, they are recommending Virtusa. If you need to start a career, they are saying that it's better to start from Virtusa. So even I'm
yeah,
also
yeah,
kind of like a newcomer to the industry. So those are things which I just heard. Mr. Rasika,
yeah, yeah.
Hi, Taushika.
hi.
Okay, now we have few people still, and they have a lot of questions as well. But I know that since I was here time to time, it is not only quality assurance you should know. Like now, as per the set of questions that I saw in the slide, the last few slides, the possible interview questions. It is not only about quality assurance and the concepts, but SQL, double OP especially, like a little bit of programming. If you want to do some automation, I think the programming knowledge is really, really important, right? So that is what all these fields are connected to each other. I think it is very difficult for us to say that if you want to be a quality engineer, you don't need to understand any other things here. I think that connection also you got understood. Then with that, we will wind up the session. And thank you very much for joining. And we will see how we can move forward since some of these students, like, they said they have little, pre, like, scheduled some work and some they have to left a little early. That's all right. Like, they put some messages to me. So because, this is something that we basically announced last week only, so that they had some work. At the same time, some people wanted to follow the course, but they didn't hear appear here today. But we will see, like, we can continue with the discussions, how we can move forward with the registrations. If you're really interested, I think the sessions we had today, like giving the introduction to our institute and the way we are managing our academic quality. And then the rest of the two people, Roshali and Dilip, I think they gave you kind of understanding about the whole aspects and the content of this. And I shared you all the content of the course, I think, in the WhatsApp group and personally to you as well in WhatsApp. And Tarshika, I think, did a marvelous job to give you the first lesson today, the very basic understanding about the testing fundamentals. And more importantly, I think she spoke about the interview questions and the possible things and some of the very practical aspects of quality engineering field in the actual nature, of it in the industry. Okay, Tarushika, thank you very much. Then we'll wind up with that. Thank you very much for your time. At the same time, thank you, Anuradha, Abhishek, Hasini, and Layodhya, right? Yes. So I hope you guys got good understanding about the content today. And we are starting from next week onwards, getting into sometimes we will recap the same session, and we are moving forward with the other content also from tomorrow, from next week onwards. On behalf of Vinay Software Engineering Academy, so I'm basically thanking you to be here until we finish the whole session and the content. And thank you very much for being interacting and asking questions. And that is really, really impressive.
Excuse
All
me,
right.
sir.
Yeah, Abhishek.
If we have like any questions about like the particular courses that were like talked about in
Yeah.
this session,
Yeah.
like we can like message you, right? Like can
Yes, we
message
are
you
going to
what.
basically for this course, actually, we are going to start a WhatsApp group or maybe a Discord group, a technical way of communicating. And at the same time, the next week session, we are going to give you in advance and give you some work to do before coming to the class in order to give you the understanding more so that you can do your homework and come. That will be really important. For an example, let's say if you don't know and can't remember the agile, so if you can give you a chance of going through a tutorial of agile and so that you know the terminology, just like that. We may give you some pre-work before coming. And we have other set of courses as well, like full stack development, UI, UX, cybersecurity, and all. So we will see how to move forward. Yeah, if you have any questions, I think you can directly talk to me through my WhatsApp number as well. That's all right, Abhishek.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Hope the session was useful. Then we will wind up it. Thank you very much, guys. All right. Thank you, Tarushika. So I'm winding up. Okay.
Welcome.
Bye.
Thank you all. Bye.
All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Ram. Thank
All
you so
right. Okay. Bye-bye.